Washington, CNN. For nearly a year, President Donald Trump and several of his top advisors have repeatedly denied that there was any contact between members of the Trump campaign and individuals tied to the Russian government. But the veracity of that story appears to be crumbling under contradictory revelations from the president's son-in-law and the current Attorney General. Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway, White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders, former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, Trump spokeswoman Hope Hicks and former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort have all previously denied that there were any contacts or ties between the Trump campaign and Russian government officials or Russians trying to meddle in the election. Trump has routinely called the Russia story fake news and a witch hunt. Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr. and Attorney General Jeff Sessions have all confirmed, on record, that they had Russia meetings during the campaign. Despite all these denials, I did not collude, nor know of anyone else in the campaign who colluded with any foreign government, Kushner said in a statement. I had no improper contacts. I have not relied on Russian funds to finance my business activities in the private sector. I have tried to be fully transparent with regard to the filing of my SF-86 form, above and beyond what is required. Hopefully, this puts these matters to rest. Kushner reiterated his denial, stating he did not collude with Russia in front of cameras outside the West Wing on Monday. But even if the encounters were benign in nature, revelations from members of Trump's inner circle that there was contact during the campaign clash with the blanket denials previously offered by former campaign advisors, current senior White House officials and even the president himself. Here is a look at some of those previous denials. ABC News: Are there any ties between Mr. Trump, you or your campaign and Putin and his regime? Manafort: No, there are not. That's absurd. And, there's no basis to it. Kushner: All right. We are not going to get any insight into the president-elect's thinking here, but let me try this. Did anyone involved in the Trump campaign have any contact with Russians trying to meddle with the election? Conway: Absolutely not. And I discussed that with the president-elect just last night. Those conversations never happened. I hear people saying it like it's a fact on television. That is just not only inaccurate and false, but it's dangerous. Reporter: Did you or anyone in your campaign, reporter, have any contact with Russia leading up to or during the campaign? Trump: No, not at all. Wallace: If there were any contacts, sir, I'm just trying to get an answer. Pence: Yes. Of course not. Why would there be any contacts between the campaign? Chris: This is all a distraction, and it's all part of a narrative to delegitimize the election and to question the legitimacy of this presidency. The American people see right through it. Carl: Back in January, the president said that nobody in his campaign had been in touch with the Russians. Now, today, can you still say definitively that nobody on the Trump campaign, not even General Flynn, had any contact with the Russians before the election? Spicer: My understanding is that what General Flynn has now expressed is that during the transition period, we were very clear that during the transition period, he did speak with the ambassador. Carl: I'm talking about during the campaign. Spicer: I don't have there's nothing that would conclude me that anything different has changed with respect to that time period. Question: I just was hoping that we could get a yes or no answer on one of these questions involving Russia. Can you say whether you are aware that anyone who advised your campaign had contacts with Russia during the course of the election? Trump: Well, I told you, General Flynn obviously was dealing. So that's one person. But he was dealing, as he should have been. Trump: No. Nobody that I know of. Nobody. Question: So you're not aware of any contact during the course? Trump: Look. Trump: How many times do I have to answer this question? Question: Can you just say yes or no? Trump: Russia is a ruse. I know you have to get up and ask a question. It's so important. Russia is a ruse. I have nothing to do with Russia. Haven't made a phone call to Russia in years. Don't speak to people from Russia. Not that I wouldn't. I just have nobody to speak to. I spoke to Putin twice. He called me on the election. I told you this. And he called me on the inauguration and a few days ago. We had a very good talk, especially the second one, lasted for a pretty long period of time. I'm sure you probably get it because it was classified. So I'm sure everybody in this room perhaps has it. But we had a very, very good talk. I have nothing to do with Russia. To the best of my knowledge, no person that I deal with does. February 20, 2017, White House spokesperson Sarah Huckabee Sanders denies any contacts occurred during the campaign. Huckabee Sanders: this is a non-story because to the best of our knowledge, no contacts took place, so it's hard to make a comment on something that never happened.